Hello, my name is Marcus. I'm the compiler of a collection of therapy quotes entitled 1001 Windmills of the Mind, a collection of advanced self-help quotes taking what's often called psychodynamic or the psychoanalytic perspective, which long ago, as I understand, is referred to by some, or perhaps many, as philosophical medicine and narrative medicine. This perspective can be used as a defense mechanism, which really became highlighted to me this morning when I was looking into the work of a guy named Edgar Levinson. Yesterday we posted our first quote from this shrink who just passed away a couple of months ago at the age of 101. I don't really know him. I never really got into his material. So I finally found one article of this and I posted a little bit about it, mainly about self-defeating behavior. How can a therapist, help a person with self-defeating behavior? And he discussed some ideas about that. So it wasn't too bad. So I thought I'd look into it further. So this morning I'm reading more into it. Man, oh man, he's a good example of that guy Portney in that novel Portney's Complaint. Somebody who's very intellectual, has a lot of knowledge, well-read and all that, but he's just all over the place, cloudy. Like he's just flip-flopping all over the place, sounding important, sounding like a lost, helpless good boy, but pompous, I know everything, but I'm a helpless child, but I know everything. He has this, you don't learn anything from him. Like there's no insight. It's just a long complaint. This man for, 60 years, whatever it is, or 70, I don't know, he's just complained. In a very elegant, witty, dry, witty, sarcastic way. Now, if you're willing, to kind of suspend, hold yourself a little bit, you can glean some informative tidbits that he includes, and you got to pluck out those little parts like that. But it's draining to read him. It's exhausting. It's kind of like he wants to be important. Look at me, see me. I'm important. And his whole intellectualization, his whole philosophing thing. He's scrambling around about how to master this quote-unquote right brain to right brain communication and pick up another person's healthier right brain and be conscious of it and be healed by the right brain to right brain communication. So he doesn't believe in traditional psychoanalysis. He doesn't believe in regular insight because I think his emotions are too much impaled. He's too traumatized. If he is a psychopath, he's a harmless one. So we recently have a topic on the psychopathic personality with various subtypes. Not all psychopaths are violent criminals and all that. You got various subgranches, LGBT type, and you got the alcoholism type, and the schizoid, a detached type, and a few others like that. So he'd be like a philosophical psychopath, like a harmless philosophical psychopath. Now he's parasitic because he makes a living off fooling people with his impressionism, or maybe just appealing to people or taking advantage of people's vulnerability because he knows their situation. But what do you think? What I think what he was trying to do is he has a symbiosis issue. He wants to create symbiosis under the cloak of the nice-sounding interpersonal psychoanalysis. So he doesn't want like a traditional responsible situation of somebody needing help and he's a soul doctor. He can't do it. He said, I figured all that. I can't do that. I want somebody to come in and I want to create symbiosis with a healthier person and think and pick up in my mind better images from their mind if I can create a fusion and then be aware of it like myself. So he was a little parasitic. He was feeding off people a little bit. I'm sorry to say this, but I felt drained, a little annoyed and angry after reading about an hour of his work this morning here. So I'll post a little bit from that article I read, and that'll be about it, I think. I'll give it a rest. Like his school, his institute, he's a good example of everything he's ranting and complaining about. Like Portney's Complaint, right? So there's a famous novel, Portney's Complaint, the shrinks always talk about, where the guy knows everything about psychoanalysis. He goes to the shrink and absorbs all that as a defense. He won't feel. He just intellectualizes, philosophizes. Philosophy and intellectualization and keeping it in the head is a way to not feel. If you're afraid of your feelings, just spin around in your head, ruminate, obsess, philosophize, complain in your mind like that. So he used the neuroscience ideas. Oh, that's perfect. I don't have to be responsible. I can just adopt this baby situation that mother and the baby are one. Mother and the baby are symbiotic. Okay? And now he wants to create symbiosis with people around him and hope magically that their unconscious will communicate in a loving spirit to his wounded unconscious, and he can be healed in interaction. So when they say, sometimes, relationship is a healer, but he doesn't mean like the therapeutic working relationship where helping a person to mourn, building their awareness, building their ego. The traditional therapy approaches help the person develop their mind, help them to now know what they couldn't know so they can then feel what they couldn't feel, have the abstract catharsis, emotional release, emotional knowing, experiential knowing. Build the person's mind, make him more conscious, then he'll feel. He doesn't believe in any of that stuff because he went through it all and nothing happened to him. It didn't happen, right? So he's a very severely traumatized person. If you see his photo, I also get an eerie, kind of slightly creepy feeling, and that's one of the adjectives of the psychopath. If you hear them or interact with them or know them or something, if you get an eerie, kind of like a creepy, eerie feeling about them. Now he's a good-looking guy. He's a tall, statuesque kind of character. So he probably elicits people's projections of a protector kind of character. He takes advantage of it like that. And the whole time he's with this institute, he's complaining about it the whole time. The founder of it, he's attacking him all the time, and he's a very hypocritical guy. And you'll learn nothing from him. You'll just pick up a few cute little anecdotes that he uses to charm you a little bit. So I'm just isolating a few of those crumbs if I skim his material. Okay, enough of that. Now I'm kind of, you see, it affects me. You see, it's funny about that. When you have an effect, when you're with that kind of very wounded person, very sneaky, they say he has a dry wit. So the euphemism for this character, he has a dry wit, so he's cynical. He's very cynical. It's droll, he's cynical, and but it's bitter. It's still cynicism. Cynicism gratifies infantile magnanimity. Cynicism gratifies feeling like a king and a god when you're cynical. He's cynical. He's cynical in all of his writings. Occasionally, it's something catches you off. Something is funny. It catches you off guard. So he gets away with it like that. But overall, it's not worth it. Overall, you're not enriched by it. You're drained by it. I think he drains people. I felt a little drained reading this guy. And I think he just siphoned people like that because the baby wants to receive mother's up. Baby is, quote unquote, in the receiving mode. He wants to siphon from others. So he's trying to recreate and still get what he didn't get with the mother. It seemed like he was very traumatized as a child, hard times, 100 years ago, whatever. And it's, maybe has certain kind of early traumas and all that. I don't know the full story. One sec. I don't really like coming to this side of the park. It's much more crowded here. It's a tiny little city park. Sometimes it's hard to use here, but let's see what we can do. That's what I was saying before I start. Come on, Marcus, just see what you can do here. The conditions here are not ideal, but I got the wall here to block the wind. Yesterday I did a video. I had a huge issue with the wind. A lot of muffling sounds. I think today it's okay, right? All right, enough about that. So I'll Is there a fly or something on me here? Okay, this video is going to have to be one of these videos where I don't do my normal introduction. I like to give some kind of overview of some of the core principles of repetition, compulsion, and Margaret Muller's theory about the developmental process, the stage the baby has to go through. Gave the triangle issue, the work of Joseph Barnett, Tess Forrest, Masterson, Janoff, Rothstein, Ogden, Althea Horner, excellent authors that have a traditional analytic object relations approach, developmental approach, with the premise that in attachment trauma, relational trauma, interpersonal trauma, strain trauma, ambient trauma, okay, where the primary dependency needs weren't met, and you're frozen and you created this construct, mental construct, okay, personal construct, okay, schematic, internal working model, assumption model, some kind of stenciling, imprint, blueprint, map, and you kind of see things through this. It's painful, baby coped with the wiring, and he adapted in a certain way. The baby, he survived. You know, we're meant to give ourselves credit for ingeniously surviving attachment trauma. We survive, but it's a deep conditioning, deep beliefs, and we see the world based on the mother. We see ourselves based on experience. And we create assumptions on how to cope. And there's a lot of defense mechanisms, identification to aggressive, for example. And then when there's pain, you repeat. So you symbolically recreate that interaction, hope for a better past. All dysfunctions, hope for a better past. You know, symbolic is like symbolic mother, oral fixations, okay, promiscuity, okay, food, okay, liquid, drink, smoking, gambling, etc., so on down the line. And you hope that you reach, but it fails. In some extreme cases, now you never accept goodness, so you got to search in the record and devalue it. Deep envy, called envy. So the greed makes you search, but you can't accept it. Too much pain, so wreck it. Don't see it, called envy. So search for the goodness, but then you don't want to see it, so wreck it. So it's envy, so you're not triggered, but you can do it again. That's why we're destroying the planet for a quick buck. We're eating up the planet for a quick buck. Play the song "Big Lie" by the singer Rick Emmett. So repetition compulsion, babies in the oral phase taken in, get trauma frozen, needs not met, keep trying. Symbolic, well, symbolic, how do you do it out of the nursery? Well, out there, grab, symbolic mother. So you greed, something, no thing, no material you get, no money you get, no thing you possess, no thing you buy, whatever. It's going to be mother's love, connection, sweet interaction in the past. Fails, pain's still there, reach again. Okay, for the moment, you feel a little excitement and hope because you're active, and there is some kind of chemistry involved when you trigger the past by reminding you of when you were on the mother. So the things you're chasing are symbolic ersatz self-objects that triggers when you did have the time with the mother, the blissful feelings. It goes, the happy chemicals trigger up the memory of the past, the happy chemicals go down, you chase. So dopamine, to chase for something that reminds you of mother. If you can be reminded of your mother with the cookie, okay, you're going to be reminded. If you feel unconsciously the cookie's mother, food, milk, even milk, chocolate, you know, the first food's milk, so it could be even like a chocolate milk is a common one, or just yogurt and those kind of soft ice creams and things. So in the unconscious point of view, if the person gets the ice cream, let's say, it's going to trigger when they were, it triggers, it reminds you. It reminds you when you were one of the mother. If the unconscious thinks there's mother, oh, it reminds you. Then you get the chemistry of the good old days, even if it was just in the womb utopia days, the glory days of womb utopia, unio mystica, participation mystique, a mystical, blissful, oceanic feeling, oceanic bliss, participation mystique, Gardavina, Shabala, Shagala, Nirvana, Paradise, Avalon. You get the chemistry of that Gardavina, and then the chemistry goes down. The pain's still there. Trauma, the set point, the pain's too high. Oxytocin too low. Serotonin too low. The person doesn't have the chemical wherewithal to enjoy something they get. So if they get something, they don't enjoy it. They don't have the set point for it. In relationships, they can't love because the oxytocin set point's too low. The pain, but it triggers the past. Above the pain, it goes down, chase again. Dopamania, now you're a dopamaniac. You're chasing all the time to trigger the past to feel better. Chase, trigger the past to feel better. Chase, trigger the past to feel better. Okay, this is called mindless repetition. In ancient Greece, a term called kliglos. Nowadays, repetition compulsion, the compulsion to repeat. Okay, Tantalus myth, the guy reaches up, rejected, treadmill, hamster wheel, etc. Santana, of course. So this is the hope to get mother's love. The unconscious doesn't know time. The core point here is the unconscious, the survival brain doesn't know time. And you're in pain, the instinct reach for mother. How do you reach your mother? Well, first of all, the unconscious is not reasonable, it's not rational. It just looks for some dream-like, mirage-like association. So that's the idea of association. It's got to reach for something. It's grasping for something. Well, mother's supposed to be sweet and soothing and warm. Oh, if I drink whiskey or something, it's stimulating and it makes me warm. And is that it? It's no. Alcohol is not breast milk, or whatever. It's not the time with the mother. It's not just about the food. It's about the interaction with the mother, the soothing interaction with the mother. Rhythm of bliss, rhythm of safety, the interaction. Okay, it's about the interaction. Mother's holding, mother's reverie, mother's love and understanding. Mother, there's attunement, back and forth attunement, the training on the same track. She sees you. It's a relational thing, not just about milk like this. It's always going to fail. So even if you have symbolic milk, it's a relationship you're missing. That's why no similar mother can actually translate to an actual original needed experience with the mother of it being relational. The people joke, the beer's the best relationship I ever had in my life is me and this brand of beer or whatever. Even if it's non-alcoholic, but it doesn't matter. So it's not an actual relationship. Only human connections can lead to neural connection. The symbolic mother cannot change the wiring. Okay, you're just triggering the past. Okay, this point about triggering the past discussed in Alban Paul's excellent book called Narcissus in Wonderland. Narcissus in Wonderland. Okay. All babies begin center stage, all about them. They're one with the breast. Center stage, all about them. Solipsistic bubble, it's all about them. Narcissus, Wonderland. Get happy chemicals, get trauma there. So that's their status. They got to maintain the solipsistic status with the center stage, and they feel that blissful feeling. Now, if it's crashed there, well, you're one with the mother. Well, mother wasn't available, so you trigger when you had mother. So you look for an ersatz self object. Okay, those like the cookie and the beer and all that. Okay, that functions ATM they call it, which triggers the good old days. Okay, so you chase for the ersatz self-object, the symbolic mother, which reminds you of the once of the mother, and has an addictive quality. It's a mechanism, it's a flinting like a mechanism. It triggers the past, you feel better. Okay, you chase again, trigger the past, feel better, chase again. Kliegos hamster wheel. This is called the misery machine. Okay, one guy, Berger, borrows Mark Twain's phrase, the misery machine. He calls this rigmarole. Okay, he nicknames it after Mark Twain's phrase, the misery machine. Because you're in a loop, you're in a hamster wheel, chasing if you trigger the path. You're not growing, you're not developing, you're still looking for the oneness. Babies need oneness to go through the developmental process, which allows their identity to blossom, their beings, their ontological self, their sensitive self, their vital self, their core self, their true self, their embodiment, their ensoulment. I feel their famment. Right? This quality of feeling real and alive. Feeling real and alive, not feeling like the stuffed rabbit in the Velveteen story, not feeling flat affect, the metaphor pitted to call it emotional, but it goes flat. Okay, dysfunctional feeling system, fear of feelings, affect phobia. Okay, and things kind of like flat like that. And feel empty and hollow man, a famous poem, whatever. So that we live to the extent that we feel. The quality of these primary feelings of our being is the gold, the ball, the radiance, the blue jay, and the blue. It's this quality. That quality determines the quality of our life. Okay, the quality of our feelings determines the quality of our life. But if our feelings go flat, and all we feel is the sensation of the fight or flight response to stress, jungle, either or, jungle, either or, find mother to get out of the pain to resume development. And you're stuck in this jungle mentality, the feeling self, the mammal place, right? Like all the feelings of the primary feelings of joy and curiosity, empathy, companionship, relationship, companioned up, person to person, not using people, enjoying the present, creative self, learning, integrating, developing, reclaiming more, knowing more about yourself, expressing what's unique about meaning, path. Okay, this ability to make apologies there, because if there's mistakes, you have an I feel badly. There's an I to do so. There's a loss. I felt the loss. There's an I to do so. Okay, the mother says I love to be. There's an I to do so. Okay, I feel joy, but there could be either to do so. Okay, in the primary dependency time of the symbiotic, okay, if that's crashed, the I's not there. They can't more losses, complicated grief, aggravated grief. So if there are losses, they have inability to mourn, get melancholy, etc. And that's gonna have problems like that. And you're dwelling in the past, and the anger at your mother turns into yourself. You see, that's another factor. So your anger, which is a cry for mother's love, rebounds into yourself. So baby wants mother's love. Okay, once again, if the mother is too busy hoping for a better pass on her end, therefore soul blind, not available to the child, baby's going to be angry by this. Mother says, you can't be angry at me. Anger goes in on himself. Now, to cry for mother's love, he turns around and hates himself. That's the cry for the mother's love. To maintain the hope to have mother, he's got to hate himself. Okay, now this hating himself is very painful. So Berger has a theory that when the baby triggers the happy chemicals of the past, the pain that's fueling this fuses, because like a column, no time, like imagine a column, the pain triggers the happy chemicals of the past, they fuse in, called the builderization of pain, the pleasurization of pain. Okay, so the pain becomes mixed up with the pleasure of the past, it's all fused in Japan, that's why it's a trigger. Now you've got this thing called psychomassacre. We don't want to know, quote unquote, major crime. We confess, yes, we admit to our dysfunction. A person can know, I'm addicted to something, or I'm a compulsive this or a compulsive that. They'll confess to the quote unquote lesser crime. That's a cloak. Because you need to know, you can't know mother failed you that big time. You don't want to know the pain or a mother failing you so severely like that. Where your basic trust of the mother was crashed. A basic, primal, vulnerable, tender, sweet trust from a little baby. The mother crashes it. What baby, what person later on wants to think their mother did that to them? Okay. Now the problem here, of course, is that the mother's in a compulsion to get a better past on her end. She overlays her past to the present, sees the present as a new to the past, repetition compulsion. She's hoping for a better past. She's trying to get a better past. Okay, so she may turn to the baby, baby, you mother me, trying to get a better past. Maybe she has the talionic fantasy of mastering the trauma, having been traumatized, where she's going to be active. She's going to be the active one. Faustian deal, Faustian bargain, Faustian pact, identification aggressor, talionic feeling, talionic impulse. She has the baby, baby, I want to master having been trauma. I'm going to be the active one. You play the past of me, I shame you the way mother shamed me. I'm going to master having been shamed by my mother. Okay, there's nonsense. Hurting the baby is not going to master her having been hurt by her mother. But she's in a mess. She's trying to get out of the entanglement, the negative tar pit of the negative symbiosis of not having been loved. The more the baby's not loved, the more he's stuck in the tar pit, the more he's bonded, the ties that bind. Okay, the mother herself is in a lot of rage by this. Daughters who don't get mother's love to develop are going to be enraged like this. Okay? And they grow up, some versions, they have a son, they hope the son will be Lou Ferrigno and fight with the world, the mother, and the soul in fighting will. The anger and the fighting is a cry for love. So everything's love or a cry for love. Okay, this issue on how it is that mothers fail the babies, and the many ways called the old cunning tales, takes a 20-hour, hang on a sec, let me fix my fan here. Oh, there it is there, all right. Oh, we got a breeze here. It's ironic because I'm blocking the winds so I can underneath it. Great song, eh? By The Cut. You're listening to Mystery. I mean the band Mystery. Although these quotes do seem mysterious a little bit, because they're trying to figure out what's going on in the mysterious unconscious, this other world, this mysterious other world, different mentation, primary mentation. Okay, no time. Things can flip flop and shape shift and morph and twist and up and down. Magic mirror, hollow mirrors. Okay, it's a different kind of. It's like Alice in Wonderland. There's no normal logic like that. So-called beta elements, and it's visual. The memory, your experiences, the memory in the body pops up in images. That's why you miss some fairy tales to talk about your fantasies. Like the fantasies, the memory, the pain, unmet needs, and in monsters of the id. So remember, the baby's anger at the mother rebounds in the mind is a monster of the id, an id monster. He's got a monster. The baby is a monster in his mind. It's not a real monster, of course. It's a symbolization, a metaphor, some way to talk about the baby's oral rage and greed and desperation, and it's devouring like quality. Block turns in on himself. Now he's got an inner critic. The inner critic can be named thousands of ways, 1,001 endless ways to describe your anger in the oral phase. Okay, guy with the horns, beat up monsters, and all of your wicked queens and wicked witches and Medusas and Medeas and all these kind of things. Okay, vampire squid's a common one now, right? Vampire squid. Something that's angry and entitled and gobbling up. That's what the baby's in. It describes the baby's feelings. It describes the baby's. It's a picture. It's a Picasso of the baby's feelings and desperation and need to take it. It has that vampire. We don't call that we don't say that about the baby, but the baby's rage puts into that. So it's just code for the baby's need for love and mother's soothing. But he became enraged and desperate and wanted to devour. And the pictures in there, and things are exaggerated because the mother's a monster. I mean, the mother's the giant test compared to the baby, the small size of the baby. Things are wildly exaggerated. But once again, the mystery of the unconscious like that. That's why we miss some fairy tales to help us decode these kind of things. Once again, myths and fairy tales are metaphors for unconscious dynamics, inner trauma like that, in the mind like that. They're not true on the outside. So Test Force has a good article about the family drama issue. you know, the mother can't be a mother, father can't be a father, and they're infantile to each other, and he parentifies her and she parentifies him, and they're fighting with it, competing with each other, and they're stuck in this loop of getting rejected, try, get, reject, and the up and down battle like that. Kid comes on the scene, but they have no idea what to do here. So that means if anybody is born to a mother and father who are still with primary needs unmet, okay, that means they'll be abandoned. And inside that person will be like, if it's a boy, the Oedipus exiled to the hills. Okay, and then you gotta fantasize good parents, the romance fantasy. I gotta split. I don't want to know mother is like Jocasta and Laius. I wish my mother were like Polybus and Minrope. The good king and queen, not the evil king and queen. So you gotta either or. That's how the baby coped, either or. He divides it up. So that's a desperate coping strategy, thinking either or. Deny mother's hurting him, make up mother's wonderful, and bleed, and so on. And you got a model, and it goes on with the theater of the mind like that. Recently, we discussed Menninger's version of the theater of the mind metaphor. That was kind of fun to do that one, right? I'm tempted to redo it here. It's a fun metaphor. Check out Carl Menninger's take on the theater of the mind metaphor. So you got the stage, the audience, you, it's your conscious, you're observing you, look at the stage, now on the stage, you're going to see parts that you recognize, some you don't recognize. There's a stage director letting in what you can handle, but some get popped through, called defense mechanism. And finally, your inner child will come in. Oh, hey, all right, got a pigeon, huh? Oh, the quote today of Mr. What's his name? Mr. Levinson mentioned that when he was a child or something, he read some old story or a fable. He heard about a tall tale. When he was a child, there were these tall tales, like fables and things, based on. Long ago, some birds had some funny antics and all that. And one bird, like the hummingbird that can fly backwards, right? So people were confused, so they thought, gee, these birds are they made up fun stories. So they would transfer the hummingbird to the albatross. One of the albatrosses called, what's it called again? Not the dodo bird. For Pete's sake, I can't. I'll read in a minute. So there's a tall tale about a kind of bird that flies backwards. It's just a made-up thing. It was just a fun little thing they made up, like a tall tale. So there was a kind of bird that looks like the albatross, a kind of albatross. That flies backwards. It's just, again, made up like a legend, like a one of these kind of like a. Oh. I'm trying to get the. Can you see the pigeon on there? He's a full-grown, confident-looking pigeon, healthy-looking bird. Yeah, they eat well, I'm sure. Yeah. What a poised bird, eh? He's so calm and poised, eh? Yeah, like he's doing some twirling kind of thing, right? So so his conclusion was, maybe we should learn from this tall tale, mythical, imaginary bird that flies backwards. So we gotta maybe look backwards at our life. Like we gotta try to understand ourselves. And like that bird flying backwards, maybe we gotta look back. People say, don't look back. No, maybe you do need to look back, do an audit, examination, recognize what happened to form who you are, what made your constructs, what made your beliefs, what made your repetition compulsions, what made your traumatic trip. Identify your trauma. You gotta look backwards. Yes, you're moving forward, but you're flying backwards. Something like that. No, you're just flying backwards, right? So it's kind of like look in the mirror idea, introspection idea. He was just trying to be playful about having an image about don't always say don't look back. The Boston song, don't look back, man, don't look back. No. Well, that's a defense. That's a manic defense. I can't feel and be manic to not feel the past. You only heal if you identify the past. You gotta identify the past so you can recognize the greatest hurt of all. Mother failed me, and consent that she failed you. Admit that she failed you. You have to consent that she failed you. And then, most importantly, part B, the most important thing is, okay, you have a big banner, give thee all hope, carve it in stone, give thee all hope for a better childhood past. Okay, then you have a chance to die this old way. Okay, in the fairy tale, there's death of the fairy tale myth, it's died of the old way, then the birth of the rebirth motif, born again motif, virgin birth motif. Now you're resuming develop. Now you grab the pen and write your own script. Now you unpick the threads of traumatic script and use those threads to weave a new healthier script. Okay, now you have this chance. Now you're resuming development. Now you have a new life, and now you're getting in touch with yourself. You can be in the present. You face the past, identify the past, said, oh my God, I can't believe it. All this time lost waiting for other stuff in the past. Isn't it bittersweet that I was being dysfunctional and self-sabotaging because I thought it would hurt mother in my mind? She might be long gone, but you're afraid of hurting your mother. Isn't it bittersweet? You're so loyal, ties that bind, because she was desperate to get oneness from you. The mother was desperate to get oneness. Okay, and babies go along with the mother like that. Might be some inebriated fellow just near me talking to himself or something. Oh, now he's staring at me. I shouldn't have looked. Oh my God, I made a big mistake. He was talking. I just took a quick glance and he darted right at me. There's lots of security here, so we're okay. Looks harmless, I guess. Yeah, there's a guy, maybe he's homeless or something, I don't know, can't tell. I don't want to talk about actual of it. It's funny about parks, you got kids and families and very innocent, like the strollers. You see strollers, mothers with their strollers, and students reading their books and things, and little circles, employees taking their break, tourists and regulars. And it's a real eclectic group here. It's near the SkyTrain, which is convenient. All right. Enough about the SkyTrain. Let me get back on track here. I feel a little distracted here. There's a lot of material in the introductory part. I always feel like I wish I could offer like a 1 hour crispy, concise, maybe poetic even. That would be like the ultimate dream, to have like some kind of 1 hour presentation that can cover most of the main points. I'm too linear and I'm tracing around. I'm a little anxious myself. I'm not a professional speaker. I'm not an actor. Never went to broadcasting school. Never went to Toastmasters. I only have a BA. I'm not a counselor. I've never been analyzed. That kind of. All right. So I'm the compiler. I find quotes and share with hope that with the 90-10 rule, that 1 out of 10 quotes will be of interest, promoting curiosity, leading to empathy and understanding, hence your CEU. Curiosity, leading to empathy and understanding, CEU. Instead of a continuing education unit in the regular world, okay, in this channel world, this alternative option, you can get your own CEU by feeling empathy and curiosity. Okay, empathy, curiosity, and understanding here. With the 90-10 rule. So read 10 quotes, and I'm hoping 1 out of those 10 quotes will provide that. Okay, now I really got to move here. Okay, someone's just parked right, literally right in front of me here. Okay, let me move it over. Let me find another spot here. It gets busier as the afternoon wears in. Let me see, where can I go? Son of a gun. Hang on a sec. Yeah, okay, let me try the other side. I think I may. Give me about 10 minutes to get over to the other side. Yeah, okay, hang on there. Keep the battery on. I'll keep it running here. Okay, I'll see you in about 10 minutes. Hold a sec. Okay, let's hit the pause on the music here. Hang on a sec. Yeah, once again, looking for something else. It's mainly fun instrumental, I thought. I play it partly because of the copyright. No problem with the copyright. We have 4 songs by this band on our soundtrack. Check out The Inner Journey Part 1 off one of their 90s albums entitled Theater of the Mind, which is how I found this band. And the most recent album, their 8th album, 2023 album, Redemption, the first track called Behind the Mirror. Excellent song. Means everybody has a behind the mirror. Everybody has a open the door, next stop, Twilight Zone, unconscious world, prime, different, mystery world, right? Everybody has a mysterious unconscious world. And don't underestimate it. It's a puppet master. It controls us. It pulls the strings. It makes us go through life seeing things according to how it sees things based on the past and hoping for a better past. Come on, get a better past. Pull the strings. Get a better past. Pull the string. Keeps on doing it. That's the trap. So only way out of this jinx curse, wrestling with this thing, Lucy Holmes's book, is you got to shine a lantern. Okay, you got to resolve the either or thing. You find both and. Put your mother on a couch maybe. Understand her situation, family systems theory, and Teachworth's book, Why We Pick the Mates We Do. The quotes here, we have 65 chapters on the go, and so much more. The comic psychoanalysis. And today is just sort of a bit of a breather for me. Just I know one thing about this guy's philosophical ramblings, it puts me in my head. So I feel it's a defense. Like, to take a break from all the heavy quotes I've been doing. When I read him, it's just some amusing, little tricky, little fun little tidbits here and there. And he lives like that, I think. So I feel this effect that maybe if I need a break, maybe I would read something like that. It's kind of like how, you know, a woman who's lonely hangs out with a playboy, just wants a break. They're not serious with him, but they want a little relief. And he refers to playboys as well. He talks about Don Juans and playboys like that. He talks about, he describes himself so much, this guy. Like many of the things he says about other people, it feels to me, oh my God, you're talking about yourself, really. Now his colleague is a little bit different. Philip Bromberg, a little different, same institute, okay, Interpersonal Psychoanalytic Institute, William Aronson White Institute out of New York and all, the same character. And he also just recently passed away, but he's got a way different, he's way more in the nitty-gritty of trauma and disassociation. Okay, standing in the spaces, awakening the dreamer, the trance, the trauma trance, how do you wake up from that? And then shadow of the tsunami. So his stuff is more practical. He's trying to help you. This guy's indulging in himself. This Edgar guy is indulging in himself. And look at me, look how clever I am. So I don't think he was a good thing. I can't imagine. I would never want to be bogged down in his symbiotic games like that. He's very gamey. He calls himself, he has an article called Fall of a Fox. So he's very foxy in his writing. He leads you on. A lot of these authors are a little bit like him, not just him. A lot of authors have this quality. On the positive side, they're searching. The language isn't perfect. We don't know. Everyone's trying to learn about them, discover themselves. So as a reader, I also got to remind myself that he's got baggage and trauma, trying to process, trying to learn, trying to be aware. And writing is a medium to do so. You're sharing at the same time, and the act of sharing helps you to know yourself. You know, so I got to remind myself that. Now the obvious difference is I'm not a counselor. I don't hang up a shingle. I would never dare claim that only a person who has been fully analyzed can be an analyst. I have not been analyzed. I've got a blind spot. I'm not fully aware of myself. I'm repeating. I want to cure my, frozenness in the past like that. My amnesia. I got a lot of childhood amnesia. Right? So I have not been analyzed. I've talked about this point in other videos. Let's not do it here. How are we doing here? Okay. Okay. Let me get back on track here. Let me think here. You know, this topic about unmet primary symbiosis, sometimes you can feel it with people. Like they go near you and you feel like a tug almost, like, oh my God, like they want to have a symbiotic like that. Some people are very kind of like, they're not aware of it. I think they're not aware of it like that. Now, if somebody's symbiotic onto themselves, if they attach to themselves, they have this like little sparkling kind of quality, right? They have this symbiotic with themselves. So some actresses have this kind of glow or something like that. I don't know. They're in love with themselves. Maybe in the future, the topic on sexuality and all that, there's a major body of literature. I put that aside for the timing. Let me first master, or quote-unquote master, or get more familiar with the main core 65 that we're doing here already. My goodness, right? My goodness. So I want to, and then maybe later on I'll spend some time carefully look and see what's good in it, what's useful in there. Although we do have a few sprinkling of quotes. Barnett recently had a little bit about it, and we had a few quotes from a book called Female Perversions by Louise Kaplan. There's a little bit about there, and a little bit about the Don Juan. One or two about the LGBT. I haven't covered that area, right? So maybe in the future we'll tackle into here. Okay, just to conclude. So we're born with a budding beauty. It's frozen with trauma. It's suspended. We go to the survival brain. Records the trauma. Pain, repeat. Pain, repeat. Chase. Okay, but it doesn't work. But you get happy chemicals. Chase. It doesn't work. But you get happy chemicals. We're in this bizarre thing of being addicted to chasing. Dopamine flares up. And the top layer of the cake is called rationalization, where the id says to the ego, hey ego, don't let the person know. Give him some flim-flammy, throw him a bone, give him an excuse, give him a red herring, distract him, give him some cute thing to say to himself. Let him adopt some handy-made slogan out there about why he's doing is reasonable. Make him believe he's being reasonable. Make him feel important with some lie. Don't let him know the truth. Need to know. We're doing him a good. We're in pain. Don't let him know the pain. And this activity makes him unaware of the pain when he believes stuff. The more pain, the more wild the belief, the more crazy the excuses. And you gotta believe the excuse, because the pain is creating it, whereby the more you believe the nonsense, the less you feel the pain. Okay, for more on this key point, this key link, go to Janoff's final book just before he passed away, written in his 80s, one of his best books about the cults and all that, called Beyond Belief. Excellent book, hard to find, took me forever to find that book, my goodness. Hopefully I can find it by now. Anyway, so we're not. That's called rationalization. Something you say to yourself and to others that feel important, and that's cloak, camouflage like that. So all your rhetoric and propaganda and lies like that. Oh, hang on a second. Got some kids passing through here. Luckily, the maze is wide enough for people to run around. All right. Okay, where are we here? Okay, so Edmund Berger's theory about psychomasochism, confession of lesser crime. Okay, Alman Paul's theory. Okay, narcissism wonderland, the ring of moral idea, repetition compulsion, frozen in the past, hoping for a better past. Okay, an extra point. Is you gotta Ecker's theory that do you consciously recognize it's too expensive doing this? Have you reached a place in your life where you don't want to be dysfunctional? Like, you know it's costly, you know it's expensive to be neurotic, you know it's expensive living your life in this repetitive way, and you're not using your gifts, you're not using your identity, you're not using your treasures, you're not being creative, you're just, what the hell, right? So do you consciously say, no, I don't like this dysfunction? Okay, that's part one. And part two, at the same time, can you realize and thank on the theater? So enter the stage, open the door. On the theater of the mind, on the stage. Okay, you're in the audience. Can you see your own inner child of the past? Your own inner wounded child of the past, kind of wrapped up, okay, in pain. He's coming on stage, he's voiceless, he can't speak. Can you thank yourself? Can you thank yourself for doing all this twisting thing? Because he's waiting for your gratitude. He's waiting for you to appreciate, okay, his effort, your own efforts. So you're waiting for yourself to give yourself gratitude to yourself of your own efforts that you had to engage in Otherwise, something worse would have happened. Something worse would have happened if the child didn't adopt these tricky defense mechanisms. But it's painful, he's all wrapped up and he can't speak. You in the audience, the conscious side of you, can you say thank you? Thank you, inner child of the past. And you got to have a real good, usually there's a crying here at this point, if you can have gratitude and see yourself in that condition. And then the ropes may loosen up, you might be free. Oh good, that's what I'm waiting for. Yeah, so when you admit that that's called the working through process, grieving process, and that's part of it like that. So that's there's a deep weeping and a wall, some kind of emotional release inside, called the phoenix and the firebird and the abraction, catharsis, emotional knowing, spiritual knowing. Okay, the orbs and inside out film, a lot of metaphors for this imagery that goes on. Nature does it, but it's waiting for us to say thank you to our inner child. Then nature will heal us. So the intermediary guide is Baba Yaga. Okay, you're not going to heal unless you say thank you to inner child. You're not going to heal until you forgive your mother. You're not going to heal until you resolve either or thinking. You're not going to heal until you realize you're not guilty. You're not going to heal. Okay, and so Baba Yaga is kind of guarding all this because you go crazy. You can't bypass that. Baba Yaga is protecting you. So Baba Yaga is personification of the natural forces responsible for your healing journey. You cannot heal by don't look back. Okay, play the song Don't Look. Great song, I like the song, good song, second album, 1978, title track of their second album, good song and all that. But I forget about the lyrics, huh? I don't even know what the lyrics are, to tell you the truth. Just musically, it's a good song. I think the best cover of More Than a Feeling is from the Glee cast. I think the Glee cast does the best cover of all the covers out there of More Than a Feeling. I think the Glee cast does it. Check out the Glee cast doing More Than a Feeling. They're on stage there like that, black and white dress. They're doing like a dance thing. That's a great cover. An honorable mention is the Kelly Clarkson singer. She does like an abbreviated, shorter version of it, More Than a Feeling. Other than that, many people can't sing that song. It's a hard song to sing, right? More Than a Feeling. Marianne. Oh, Marianne. What is that name? Oh, Marianne. Hang on a sec. There is a Marianne in today's quote. Oh my God, Marianne. Yeah. As analysts, okay, we have become, in the poet Marianne's Moore wonderful line, quote, real frogs in imaginary gardens. Okay, so you have this little anecdote that that in the relationship, the client brings his imaginary past, but there's something real between the two. But he's bringing an imaginary past, so real frogs in imaginary gardens. Like there's something real in the present. Okay, so the counselor is a real person, but the client is bringing his whole past, his imaginary, okay, unforgettable, unremembered past, unthought known past, his imaginary, unconscious primary process, timeless, imaginary, okay, garden to the present. But he's a real person. He's a real frog in an imaginary garden from the person, from the client's point of view. So that's what I mean about him. He finds a few cute little, not cute, few helpful little gems like this one. That's why one like that. Again, as analysts, we have become, in the poet Marianne's. So More Than a Feeling, it's about a woman named Marianne, right? Another Marianne. As analysts, we've become, in the poet Marianne Moore's wonderful line, real frogs in imaginary gardens. And finally here, analysts carry, please remember, dear reader, we shrinks, we analysts, we're not perfect. We carry lots of baggage into the treatment room. Be prepared. Okay, so at least he admits it. So at least he's aware, he's kind of not really helping. I bring a lot of baggage. No one healed me, so I'm bringing it in. So you fix me, client. You fix me, client. He wants the clients to heal him. He's trying to figure out a way to benefit from the presence of clients. He doesn't just want, he's got money. It's not about money. He wants to psychologically heal. Okay, let's just keep going. Oh, Don Juan. Let's do the Don Juan. A Don Juan type. Okay, so he says, commonly when people talk about, so the Don Juan is the mother complex, right? the boy didn't get mother's love. The mother was in a primary dependency, and maybe the more pain there is to the mother, if the mother's depressed, impaired, he has a mother complex. The more the baby's not loved by the mother or hurt by the mother, the more he's tied there. That's the mother complex. Okay, this boy leads to Don Juanism. Don Juan, okay, Oedipus, mother boy, mother complex. Okay, so he's tied there, he becomes her. So he may identify with her. One version is he'll do to women what his mother did to him. So mother promised, allured, rejected. Identification, Faustian deal. I'm going to master this trauma. I'm going to master this trauma. A mother promising me and rejecting me. I'm going to master this trauma. I'm going to make the deal. Yes, give me the deal. Identifies with the aggressor. Goes around, looks for ladies. Let me promise, let me be charming. Let me say these nice things. Then I reject you, the way mother rejected me. He does it again and again in an endless, timeless loop. Endless, timeless loop. You can have 20 lifetimes being Don Juan. Okay, and it's not going to undo or quote unquote master of that having been happened to him. Of that, because that happened to him. Okay, so take two, take two, retake. The baby cried for love. A great hope fell. You heard no noise. The wreckage was with him. O cunning tale that let no witness him. The boy reached for the mother. It was promising. It was exciting, alluring. She was enticing. Okay, maybe some people say seductive like that. Whatever. So he was very, very allured like that. Okay. So the baby starts off with this alluring excitement like that. Okay. He wants to reach mother, connect to the mother, have the mother. He expects it. He's all excited. Natural expectation, in an expectation to connect with the mother. A real promise. Okay, that promise, that alluring promise, crash. You heard no noise. The wreckage was with him. O cunning tale that let no witness it. What's the O cunning tale? Well, why mother did it, that's part of it, but part B is, the O cunning tale is, he makes the deal. Oh my God, I gotta master this somehow. I'll make the deal. I'll be the active aggressor and do to others what she did to me, and maybe that'll undo the trauma of that having happened to me. So the Don Juan will identify with the aggressor and do to all the ladies out there what his mother did to him. He's very angry at his mother, so he'll imitate her, say nice things to all the ladies. That's what my mother did to me. So Don Juan says, oh, here's some nice sweet words. Oh, you like those words? Good, reject you. The moment she shows interest, I reject. The moment I lure you, I reject. He spends his whole life. Okay, and so the Don Juan story had thousands of women, like conquest, whatever, and you got the Don Juan. The females do the exact same thing. They can do the exact same thing. Not only Don Juans. You got the Don. They play the song sometimes. They hear in the mall there. I've never been to me, about a female Don Juan, a Donna Juana, a female Don Juan. A song called "I've Never Been to Me" by Charlene. She was a playgirl. Spent her whole life as a female Don Juan. Became an old, wretched creature-looking woman. Said to a young lady, "Don't be like me. I've done it all. I've rejected thousands of men. I made $1 million, but I've never been to me." The name of the song. I never found myself. I never healed from this trauma. I never healed. I was in the trauma. I lived my whole life in a trauma trance. I made the deal with the aggressor. I made the deal, and it's not worth it. Don't do it, young lady. She says, oh, you're an old hag. Oh, what happened? No, it'll happen to you. It'll happen to you. Learn from me. Listen to my story here. Come on, just spare 3 minutes of your time. Won't you spare 3 minutes of your time? Let me do something good before I kick keel over. Come on, let me do something good here. Let me pass what I've learned. I've learned, okay, that the Faustian deal doesn't work. That doing to others what your mother did to you does not work. I did this and I've been there, did that, did this, been there, did that, and so on down the line. Most of the songs about that. But I've never been to me. You get it, young lady? I've never been to me. I never found myself. I have no identity. I have no soul. I have no body. I'm empty. I'm hollow. I'm just in this angry, bitter chip mode. And you're about to do that. Don't do it. I haven't heard in a while. I'm very surprised to hear that song. It's a one-hit wonder by a singer named Charlene. She only had the one hit like that, but it's a good song, yeah. Okay, so he makes a brief comment about it here. A Don Juan type, is he just trying to recreate the family situation where he wants to stay one with the mother and there's no father around? So in the Don Juan situation, okay, he's tied to the mother and there's no father around. Oedipus complex, Oedipus dilemma, Oedipus story, right? The myth. Okay, the father's not around. Remember the father's dead and all that? That just means the father didn't want the son. Remember lies? I don't want the son. Mother went along with him. The mother even sent the boy away in the mountains. So the parents didn't want the kid. Right? So neither of them want him. But in the case of the dependency of a boy, it's to the mother in the beginning. Primary dependence, so mother complex. Daughters have it too. They might transfer to the man later, but that's a different story. So first that's the electric story, but it's still the mother complex. The daddy's little girl story is really code for the mother story. They just got transferred, and that's a little complicated. Shall I compare it to an onion? It's a little layered like that. But so that was Lucy Holmes's theory, but recently discussed. So the more the mother hurts the baby, rejects the baby, doesn't want the baby, the more he's tied there. The more he's tied there, the more he's stuck in the tarpon of being her. He's identified with her. So he's waiting to get mother's love. He's in a oneness. Okay, flash the metaphor. The narcissist looks in a pool of water, sees the reflection. He's waiting for mother to appear. Mother never appears. He's one with the mother. He is the mother. He's his own mother. He's one like that. It's a delusional kind of thing. That's why he turns into the narque flower called Narcissus flower. Gives people delusions. He's in a delusion. He doesn't have an identity. He has no self. The soul echo, the embodiment, the feminine, the anima, the soul, feminine echo, turned to stone in the corner. She was whispering in the corner, repeating the last word. She turned to a statue, turned to stone. The soul was frozen. Kind of thing. That's the basic idea, that your identity was disassociated. Okay, so his soul, his real self, his core self, his vital self was echo. Echo turned to stone. He was disembodied from himself, right? All right. The pigeons put on a show for free. Play the song Up on the Roof by the Nylons. I go to the roof and the stars, they put on a show for free. When I come here, sometimes the pigeons put on a bit of a show for free. Seeing a hummingbird fly backwards, that's quite a thing, eh? In the tall tale, there was an albatross flying backwards, so it's a made-up. Incredible birds, eh, those albatrosses, the wingspan on those guys, unbelievable. And they fly for years in the air like that, unbelievable. Amazing birds, eh? So what a powerful image. A massive albatross with that huge wingspan, and he's flying backwards. So that's like to convey this sense of looking within, right? Like I look with men in the mirror. All right. So back to, okay, so that's one point about Don Juan. He's in that family dilemma. Tied to the mother, no father there. That's all he has, one with the mother. In normal development, mother loves you. Okay, then a little bit later on, you hatch out of the psychological egg. Then father shows you the ropes. He teaches you stuff. He shows you the world outside the world of the mother. The world of the mother is a oneness, bliss, unity, right? Okay, softness and sweetness and all that stuff. He's got to learn the world outside of that. The father's there for that. The father's quote-unquote uniquely qualified to teach the son about the world outside the mother. The father can't be a substitute mother. Same with the daughter. Okay, the father's got to teach the daughter the world outside of the mother. If there's trauma, back to the electric conflict, if there's trauma between the mother and the daughter, and the daughter turns to the father for what the father can, she's enraged like this. The father can help her out, but he'll be madly obsessed with the father and dependent and addicted to the father and have a huge daddy complex, and he's addicted like massively in limerence like that. There's nothing physical, but she's like so addicted to her father, she can't love another guy, she can't go like that. So later on, she, in her 30s, she fell in love with a man her father's age, but it was the same rejecting psychology of the mother. So it didn't work, so she gave up on the whole enterprise. She never got married or something like that. So then she had to see a shrink and face this triangle issue. That was a recent quote by Lucy Holmes? Yeah, some good quotes by Lucy Holmes recently. Check it out. Lucy Holmes recently Joseph Barnett, and Tess Forrest. Those three authors recently discussed a lot of great material there, a lot of fun material. Okay, this guy not so much, this Levinson guy, yesterday and today. I'm in break mode, to tell you the truth. I feel like yesterday and today is a bit of a lighter load. Huh? Okay, if by chance this phone suddenly cuts out, I'm struggling with battery storage issues on my phone. There'll be a part 2. It happened yesterday, so let's see what happens here today. Don Juan, all right. Is he replaying the Oedipal story? Is that basically what it is? Or maybe is he trying to recreate the blissful, cherished oneness of being one with the mother, with the breast? Okay, so ideally, the way when he's Menninger says the playboy's looking for the perfect woman. I want the perfect, blissful one, like Dobie Gillis. She's creamy and soft and pillow, like a pillow, like a cloud, and soft and cuddle. He describes the perfect woman like a baby would describe the breast, right? The first mother for the baby is the breast. So Dobie Gillis in the comedy show would describe women like that. Menninger said to a guy like that, she's dead. Oh my God. So if Don Juan does say he's looking for the perfect girl, which doesn't exist, number one, A, do the Menninger thing. She doesn't exist, she's dead. Okay, number two, realize what the Don Juan is looking for is the oneness with the breast. No woman can do that. So if you think in that kind of way, he's searching for the good breast, it fails. Next, you're not it. You're not the good breast. You didn't give me the perfect, blissful unio mystica, participation mystique. I don't feel like I'm in a blissful Gardabino, and he can't do it, but he's looking for it. He can't do it. He's looking for it. Can't do it. Look at there's your Don Juan syndrome. He tries, fails, tries, fails, tries, fails. Sisyphus. Okay, Tantalus. Okay, Tantalus. Reaches for the apple, the nipple, pulled away. Reaches, pulls away. Peaches. So he's not being malicious. He's just desperately looking for the oneness. So the positive side of Don Juan, he's just looking for the perfect thing here. Or does he wish to reestablish himself as the loved child, cherished baby, okay, the loved child, the cherished innocent? Okay, why don't I just continue here with the rest of this? Okay. He gives a little credit to one of the founders of the founder of the Institute, Harry Stack Sullivan. We have no quotes from this guy. But he's like way back in the 1910s and 20s. We never hear about him. Makes me want to look into him. Harry Stack Sullivan's writings. And he did have an interpersonal kind of thing, right? Where the shrinks are just focusing on what's the model inside. Interpersonal leads to intrapsychic. Let's study the intrapsychic. Let's study how we understand our experience. And some people don't want to do that. Oh, just focus on the here and now interpersonal. Here and now interpersonal. That's it. Here and now interpersonal. Forget about how the past influenced the present. That's all psychobabble. Focus on the here and now, moment to moment, here and now, between the therapist and the client, and focus on that. Without talking about the past. So he seems to be one of the first people kind of in that mode. It's a both and situation. You do both. You look at the here and now as a reflection of the imprint. The imprint creates an example of the past. You got to do both. The present is a reflection of this. The outer is a reflection of the inner. As above, so below. It is a both and. But some people want to focus more on the present, not the past. So I think he's a bit like that. Harry Stack Sullivan's writings were ignored. Almost totally ignored. And they still are even today, he says here. The only people who read it are a few people in any of these interpersonally oriented institutes like ours, he says here. Even though this Sullivan guy was before object relations theorists like Masterson, okay, Fairbairn, and all these guys. So even before Masterson and Fairbairn and Althea Horner and Rensley and Guntrip, maybe. No, not Guntrip. He does the schizoid thing, right? Guntrip was a student of Fairbairn. Guntrip was a client of Fairbairn, but he wrote books on his own, which are partially okay. I remember doing a 4-video special run on the work of Guntrip, who was analyzed by Fairbairn. And He's a dense, thick, kind of a serious writer, so I just left it there. I don't remember too much of what he had to say. He talks a lot about the schizoid dilemma. Like your emotions are so detached, you know, and like you're so afraid of feelings. So Goodtrip had a huge fear of feelings, an immense fear of feelings. He was also in his head a lot, right? Anyway, so this Harry Stack Sullivan was talking about things even before people like Masterson kind of made it clear to us. It's a bit about all the disagreements. Okay, I kept this part here. So, among the different analytic institutes and schools of thought, you know, Kohut and Masterson and Karen Horney and, you know, and, Mr. Kernberg or transference people, Benjamin, what's her name, Lorna Benjamin, Eric Byrne, and Gestalt, Fritz Perls. They've got hundreds, literally hundreds of little models of the mind, therapy approaches. And they're all like bickering. No, I'm right. No, I'm right. And all bickering. And, oh, you're like that. No, you're wrong. No, I'm right. I'm right. You're wrong. So even in the soul doctor community, they're all squibbling with each other, right? And he made a funny comment here. He says, "Geez, can't we put our differences aside? Can't we all shrinks? Although we disagree, we all agree on basic things. We want to heal the soul. We want to understand it. We agree on that, right? Can we just put our petty arguments aside and agree that we have something in common? Plus, to boot, the barbarians are at the gates." That's what he said. So who are the barbarians at the gates? Okay, psychopharmacology. Okay, so all the famous big pharma companies, they're at the gates. So while we're bickering, they're breaking through. They're dividing us. They're people. We're not a force anymore. Divide and conquer. They divided us. They got us fighting amongst ourselves. I don't know how they did it, and then they broke in. Now I got more of a focus on the pills, all right? So there's more pills than talking now, and they were trying to hold the force. So he was saying, "Come on, guys, hold on." Perhaps, like amoeba, we are at our most divisive when our energy is highest. Perhaps it is not such a bad thing to disagree. Our present problems may derive more from maybe a certain weariness, or maybe, you know, we're weary from fighting amongst ourselves, and now the big pharma is attacking us. Not just big pharma, okay, the coercion of third-party payers and the insurance and the drugs and insurance, and they're kind of taking over this whole thing. So maybe we should stop squabbling about transference and counter-transference and what's the self and what's the real self. But we're still around, he said, but we're still around. So psychoanalysis is still around here. Analysts of different persuasions collect different data, hear it selectively, and see in it what they expect to see. Einstein once said, I didn't know this, but Einstein and Carl Jung were buddies. I didn't know that. Einstein and Mr. Jung were buddies. So maybe Einstein was getting therapy from Mr. Jung. I don't know. Or the other way around. I don't know. So that's something he mentioned here. Einstein once said that the theory defines the data. Talk about selective cherry picking. Right? You got a theory. I'll only pick the data that fits the theory, right? A common idea. We can hardly hope that our clinical experiences demonstrates the validity of our theoretical preferences. You know, here's something Levinson. He bombastically says that some of his quirky little things, I'm absolutely sure I'm right about this. I am so determined. And he complains that other people talk like that. He complains strongly. Talk about classic projection, one-on-one projection. You read him very upset that other people say, they've got the answer, it's object relations theory. So people they're proud of their theories and their institutes and their models they have, and he hates all that. And then a page later, he bombastically sounds like the thing he's complaining against. Which is, so what's first? Chicken or egg? Oh, he talks about the chicken and egg here. Chicken or egg? Interpersonal or intrapsychic? I don't know why he's making up a debate here. The baby relates to the mother, right? That's interpersonal. The baby comes out of the womb, expect to connect, and there's a relationship. Interpersonal. Now the baby wires in his brain, that's the intrapsychic. Interpersonal becomes intrapsychic. Human connections lead to neuroconnect within the person. Neuroconnections. Okay. Human connections lead to inner neuroconnect. That's your intrapsychic. Interpersonal becomes intrapsychic. So I don't, what's the big debate? Of course the relationship comes first. Well, now I'm being pretty serious, right? It seems to me that now even he argues, what about the womb? Fine, sure, okay, fine, whatever. If there's a relationship between the mother and the baby while the baby's inside, the baby might be wiring and what's going on. And so what? The relationship between the baby, in or outside, he's going to remember. Experiences lead to memories. How do memories without experiences then lead to experiences? Like, what the hell? So I don't get this kind of chicken or egg thing. Anyways, okay, he mentions this anecdote about one client has a shrink and all that, and there's things are going along in a certain way. Case scenario A. In case scenario B, the shrink has supervision, and he presents it with his colleagues, and he's getting all this feedback. He comes in, the client is under more pressure. There's more people in the room, so he's getting worse. It's worse. He says, ironically, you might be better off with the novice who doesn't have supervision, because he's a little more fresh, a little more innocent. He says here, it is an old saw in psychoanalytic circles that supervised. The supervision makes it worse. You're better off with the novice, the tender mercies of the novice. I don't know. That depends on the shrink. Does the shrink benefit from being supervised? If he's a better person from the supervision, of course the client will benefit from it. I don't get this. But him saying this implies his ongoing complaint with everything. He's complaining that the supervisors are whack, it made him whack, and it made him a worse shrink. So he put it this way, I think what he's, in a slippery way, he's saying he's an incompetent, ineffective, damaging, hurtful sham of a shrink, and he blames his supervisors. So that's what I don't like about this guy here. But I'm still glad that he wrote his books, because he finds things like Marianne Moore's line, real frogs in imaginary gardens. Sometimes I learn about literature references. One benefit of reading this analytic kind of stuff, there's a lot of references pulled in from the literature world. You know, Bergler's very good at that, Mark Twain and all that. Let me check the battery. Storage is one thing. What about the battery? 50%. Okay, we're holding up okay. Battery's okay this time around. All right. Curious to see if my phone will just shut out suddenly, because the switch is not working. You know how the default go to the chip? It's not working. For some reason, my video doesn't automatically click over to the memory chip. Although it says to do so, it's not doing it. So my built-in storage is next to nothing. So maybe around now it'll cut out, I think, if that's the case. Then I'll do a quick part 2, if that's the case. Very possibly it is because of the almost logarithm, because of the mathematical increase in the number of people in the room now. Okay, next one. It seems likely that the inquiry is the therapeutic act. As Mr. McCullough, the famous line from Mr. Marshall McLuhan put it, the medium is indeed the message. So he thinks just the interaction, questioning, being present, empathy, what's going on, that's the therapy. The medium, the relationship is the message. So the activity of the here and now, what's going on in the here and now, okay, that here and now, okay, this medium of the here and now, that's the message of therapy. The relationship is the healer. The inquiry about the present, this inquiry about the present, the medium, this medium is the message. Something like that. So he applies it in this context here. As Wilden, 1972, said, quote, at the end of therapy, the client knows what the therapist knows, which is what the client has always known. That's what I mean. He finds these fun little quotes. I'll give him credit for that. He finds some excellent quotes, like this one here. As Wilden, 72, said, quote, at the end of therapy, the client knows what the therapist knows, which is what the client has always known, but didn't know he knew. Okay, so this issue of the reenactment in the room with the client and therapy. If there's a reenactment, should we bring it to his attention or not? Should we just understand it or not? So he talks about this debate about when the client reenacts and restages in the present a version of the past, what should the therapist do? Of course, you interpret it and bring it to their attention. He says, well, some people say no, just keep it in mind and process it and understand it. And the right brain to right brain, he'll receive non-verbally the message of what he understood. No, this is magical stuff. You can't recreate the symbiosis of the mother. That's what he wants. He wants to create the symbiosis. This man is looking for symbiosis. No, the regular standard thing is build your awareness. Treat the person like an adult. Don't infantilize him. Don't baby him. Don't infantilize him and think magically, oh, you're doing this. I understand. And it's going to change him. Bring it to his conscious awareness. He's got to be aware himself. He's got to be a co-detective. The master detective has to teach the junior detective how to be a detective. When he does, then he's free from therapy. So he's doing the cohesion thing. He's trying to do something like a cohort. Let me be the good parent, and you be the child, and I'll redo what was failed, and I'll stand in for your missing mother. He's kind of a little bit in that kind of area. But he wants it himself, you see. He advocates this because covertly he's a flip-flop. He's the baby and wants the clients to. He's trying to figure out how to get mothered by the people around. So people who cannot be therapists make some convoluted, tricky thing because they're trying to hide and look so intelligent. Of course I wouldn't do such a thing. That's the trick. When you look so intelligent in your jargon and all that, and good examples like that, he gets away with being the baby, wanting others to read his mind, meet his needs, have the experience, to recreate this. He thinks he can get mothered by somebody. Now this is very relieving, you get a lot of tension release. I mean, if you're milked all the time, like if someone takes care of you all the time like that, and you get paid for it, and they're worse off, and you get better, and you took their money, and they took care of you, other people mothered you. So a lot of shrinks flip it. They get into this profession to sneakily, covertly get mothering from people. They're still trying to get mothering from people. They take naive clients who are a little, maybe better off actually, but have less knowledge and they're more naive. That's what they want. They want that kind of pureness of the people, right? The naivete, and they exploit that. He's a vampire, this guy. So the vampire in the mind means, as a baby, he was enraged, wanted to suck in, right? And mother didn't freely give, so he's grabbing to suck in. If he were alive hearing me, maybe he's laughing at me. I don't know. He just wants energy. He just wants attention, this guy. Maybe like that. I played a clip of him yesterday in the video. You can see it. Yesterday's video. So you gotta have a balance. I have to remind myself of that. On the one hand, I feel fill in the blank, but on the other hand, I feel grateful that he's sharing and writing and being a part of the family of the curiosity involved and sharing what he knows. On the one hand, I feel a little, I got to deal with this man's pain. On the other hand, I appreciate that he's sharing. So you got to have a both and kind of hold the both and see people with the both and. Okay, the third side of the coin. Hold the two sides and have a holistic, broader kind of appreciation of people. He's in pain, looking for better paths. If he weren't doing what he was doing, he thinks something worse would happen to him. He's partially aware, called narcissistic giving, to make you admire him, but the covert thing, he's narcissist, still a narcissist. So this phrase, narcissistic giving, is you throw people something that appears like he's giving, but no, it's a trick to make you admire him. He's his own very good self-propaganda agent for himself. Is that it? Oh. Coherent narratives require participation of both hemispheres. Okay, so here's a positive one he says here. Okay, this one's okay. Coherent narratives require participation of both the interpreting left hemisphere and the processing emotional right hemisphere. That's a coherent narrative. And this is created through inter-hemispheric integration. You want inter-hemispheric integration. The yin-yang symbol, the yin and yang symbol, okay? Like the moon and the sun, the night and the day, left brain, right brain. You want this harmonious, the yin-yang symbol is even better because it shows you the curvy interplay, the left brain, right brain integration. Okay, that's true cognition, experiential knowing, feeling, yin, the black side, okay, the conscious bright awareness, the white side. Okay, that's the masculine, you're aware, I think I understand, feeling in the body dark enough inside, unconscious, well. So you want the experiential knowing. Data on the inside, apprehension on the inside, impression on the inside. Can you link it to the white portion of the yin-yang symbol called the masculine, like the sun, the bright aware, and now the syntax and comprehension from the feeling that you can express. Expressing from the feeling. The masculine from the feeling. You're doing from the feeling. Okay, you're doing from the feeling, that's normal. If you don't have your feeling, your doing is whack. Kristen Wilson's line, if you're not in your body, okay, it's distant, you're not making sense. You don't have your sense of self. You're not making sense, you don't have your sense of self. And it's disembodied discourse that causes all these problems. Because disembodied discourse is obsessive thinking. Obsessive thinking is a defense against feeling. Obsessive thinking means you're not going to have proper thinking. You need proper thinking because proper thinking makes links. And when you make links, then you get a feeling. You don't want the feeling, so don't have proper thinking. Do what's called OCD thinking. That's the problem. In our OCD thinking, we don't feel. A lot of people have an OCD personality or obsessive personality. Okay, that's when the mother's too hypocritical and all the emotions implode in and it goes to the side like that. Okay, Barnett has a theory about the affect being imploded in, obsessive, paranoid, depressive, the affect popping up like popcorn, hysteric, impulsive acting out. Kind of like, a little bit like introversion, not exactly, but a little bit like introversion, extroversion. But it's not that. It's not that. He's got 6 personalities, 3 based on the emotions popping up, emotions popping in, and emotions are about the signaling of your needs not being met. How do we deal with the emotions of our needs not being met? Do we implode them in, or do they pop up? When they pop up, it's crude, we don't know what it is. They pop in, oh my God, you really don't know what it is, and you're defensively taking refuge in minutia, obsessive trifles in minutia. You're a perfectionist, OCD perfectionist, some minutia, but don't look for the forest. Don't look for the main idea. Don't look for the main message. Don't look for the broader spirit of it. Just be a perfectionist, some minutia. So that's disembodied discourse, causes all these problems. I'm right, no, I'm right. Minutia's right. So in the Analytic Institute, they would do that. I'm right. So they were a little obsessive. They really see a lot of books. Almost every author many authors will make some reference to all of this squabbles between Analytic Institutes. Now, I don't know about today in the year 2026 what's going on at all. I have no idea. We got one more. Oh, two more here. All right. If the mother fumbles, if she fumbles the football, the breastfeeding, if she fumbles the breastfeeding, the child might become very anxious. Okay, he's stressed out. It's not going right here. Can't handle this. He says here, well, maybe the child is preparing himself to deal with anxiety. Maybe he's something like that. Okay, last one here. Okay, about the book. Oh, the Goonie bird. Oh, here it is. That's what I was looking for. Okay, there's a type of albatross. Oh boy, I forgot the name of it. There's a kind of albatross in some area of the Pacific Northwest Ocean or something like that. Around Hawaii, I think. Somewhere around the Hawaii area. There's an albatross called the, fill in the blank, 2 syllables, tansy or something. Is it tansy? That specific albatross is also nicknamed the Goonie bird. Because those birds have a little fun they dance, they flirt around, and when they land they fumble a bit and they dance with each other. They literally do a little dance. You can see it on YouTube. They pop up and down with each other doing a dancing thing, and so they kind of like have all these fun little antics with them. So some legend came about. So that was borrowed. The nickname, well, they're kind of foolish. So in German, there's a word for foolishness, which I don't remember, but it sounds like a goonie. So then they would nickname the bird the Goonie bird from the German version of Goonie. I forgot what it was. That's what the Wikipedia said. So he said he read some tale, some children's tall tale about the Goonie birds, which could fly backward. Why, we don't know. I don't know, he says here, but it talks about not where it's going, but where it's been. It's an image about where it's been. That's not such a bad thing. So keep this fantasy bird in mind. The made-up fictional tall-tailed Goonie bird that flies backwards, i.e. look within. Oh my, yeah. I saved the best for the last, right? We have a real person. We have a real person in the room with us, calling forth from us a real participation. We are meant to be a real person in the present for this person. We have become, in the poet Marianne's Moore wonderful line, real frogs in imaginary gardens. Yeah, this is a good line. So you got two really good gems here from relayed by Mr. Levinson. This line by Marianne Moore, and the other one by the earlier one by Wilden, 1972. So I give him credit for that. So it's a fun quote. It's a fun. I tried to make it a fun quote. So I read from 3304. 3304. Is it showing up there? So I just read a preview of 3304. Oh, it's 5:20 right now. Oh, look at that. Oh, it's late here, right? Oh, I got a late start here. Yeah, okay. Oh, I lucked out with the breeze today. Yeah, okay, not too bad with the breeze. The fan's still working, eh? Oh, okay. Oh, they're amigos. The guy to my side, who I thought was drunk or something, and the guy who sat right in front of me, now they're sitting like right beside each other. Oh, they're buddies. Eh? That's why I moved. I felt something was off. The first guy was like scanning me, and the second guy came in. And what are they gonna rob my bag or something? Are they robbers? I don't know. Occasionally there's minor thefts. I think not much. I'm sure they're well known by the guards here now. And yesterday, what was the other fun one from yesterday? Hang on a sec, 3303. Another fun sort of thing he said here. Let's see, can I find it again? Hang on a sec. The other fun point by him was, hang on a sec, where is it? Gordian knot, was it the Gordian knot one? Oh, this one here, okay. If a client understands himself with great clarity, but cannot entertain another's perspective, another possible way of patterning his life, he's stuck with the imprint. So he's stuck with the imprint, but maybe he understands it a little bit, but he cannot update. He cannot update himself. He cannot move on, but he understands where he's in, but he can't move on. He compares him to a hooligan who has learned to like opera. It's fun. He's describing himself. This man, I think, is like that. He's a hooligan who loves psychoanalysis. He's not beyond the hooligan. He calls himself a clever fox all the time. Developmental lag. Okay, now. Actually, compared, it's funny, I thought this wasn't bad, but, so they're both okay. 3303, I'm going to leave it there with Mr. Levinson, I think. So we did a 2-video special run on the quasi-psychoanalytic philosopher Edgar Levinson, who just passed away at the age of 101. It's funny because I noticed he has 3 books out. Silly titles. The Ambiguity of Change. Okay. The Fallacy of Understanding. Okay, you see what I mean? And the third one was the Purloined Self. Okay. You know, like the thief. You know, the thief's. Okay, he has those 3 titles. Most of his writing is kind of like that. It's kind of like okay, but a little annoying, right? He's a passive-aggressive person. You're stunned with the confusion. He does what's called trans logic. In trans logic, he wants to be important with important ideas, but confuse you to create the symbiosis. Because the baby had trans logic. The baby was stunned when mother hurt him, and he was stunned, hypnotized. He's trying to hypnotize you. This guy is trying to hypnotize the reader, and I'm sure he does that in the room with his clients. So I feel that's another clue to unmet symbiosis, this trans logic thing. You say some shocking thing, everyone's stunned, then you're in the oneness moment, right? That's what happened to them as a baby. Mother hurt them, they were stunned, yes mother, and they're frozen in a trauma trance. Trauma trance called trans logic, also known as trauma trance. So if somebody's trying to create the trauma trance, that's for them to know that they felt that and they are still in it from the template. And you create outwardly to know the inner, as above, so below. I don't think he ever analyzed himself. I don't think this guy truly analyzed himself. That's why I think he's a bit of a hooligan who loves psychoanalysis, the hooligan who loves opera. He loves opera, he loves psychoanalysis, but he's still in that old primitive purloin way, the purloin fox way. Okay, that's my nutshell for this guy. Maybe I'll update it if I know more about him in the future. I feel like I'm being reasonably. I think my criticism of him, I think my conveyance of this guy is not too far off. I don't feel too badly. I feel pretty close. I'm in the ballpark. I feel like I'm in the ballpark, just based on what I've read so far. Okay, so let's pick a song and close it up here for today. Let's see. Oh, I got my Wi-Fi back. Hang on a sec. Okay, I haven't done this in a long time. One thing I miss doing is going to the website Radio Garden. You get a world map with hundreds or thousands of green dots. You move your cursor to a dot and you hear the radio live at that location on the geographical map like that. And then the problem is most of it's copyrighted. So I have to trim out almost everything. I have to trim it. Most of it has to get trimmed out. Maybe I can maybe I can do it like this here. Oh, we left off last time in Spain, eh?
De la ciudadanía puede colaborar de dos formas, con dos modalidades.
All you gotta do is move. So there's Spain, for example, right? And just move the cursor. You get the city. Lots of talk. Portugal. All right. What's happening in Portugal? Spain. Back to Spain. All right. What's here?
En julio, los días 11 y 12 viajamos a Quinta da...
Oh my goodness.
Esa contaminación, sino que luego son plásticos.
Oh my goodness. Okay, let's leave Spain for today. Let's go to France. What about France? I don't get much luck in France. The music, honest to God, the music out of France is terrible. The music is just crassy. It's rubbish. It's bad techno disco covers or something. Zaz is the only French singer that we have on our soundtrack. Zaz, one of her songs, Eboule Parani. I'm kind of surprised. You kind of expect better music from them, eh? Yeah, like this kind of techno. Italy's a little better. Yeah, Italy. Let's see. Actually, Germany, you get some good stuff out of Germany. Let's see, where's Germany here? Germany. Erfurt.
Vom 19. bis 21. Juni. Und am Sonntag sind wir mittendrin.
And the 4 means the number of stations in that city. And you can just move the fast forward. In this case, I'm not getting it. Let's try another one. Check. Oh, Chechnya. Oh, the Czech Republic has a long border with Germany, right? What's over here? You know, wow, the music's pretty bad in Europe, to tell you the truth. Turkey, you gotta go to Turkey. If you want some good music, go to Turkey. Turkey, Indonesia, Malaysia. Usually you get... Antalya. Okay, let's see how this goes. This is from Antalya. No, it started off promising. Hang on. C-U-M-R-A.
En iyi çözümü bulmak için bizimle iletişime geçin.
Adlandırılmadı. Bihaza
Let's go to Indonesia or Malaysia. Indonesia. Failed to load. All right, let's try again. Malaysia. Ipoh. Okay, let's end with this traditional music. Oh, what happened? Oh, I lost it. I had some nice traditional music there. What happened? Hang on. Let's try again. Where was that? Malaysia. Here. All right. That sounds pretty good. All right. Let's end up with some nice traditional, folksy kind of. Yeah, it has an authentic, a real authentic kind of feel to it, doesn't it? Right? I have no idea what they're saying, but let's wrap it up with this nice music here from the city of Narathiwat, Thailand. Over there, where the circle is. Oh, there's our pigeon putting on a show for free. Okay, submitted for your consideration. Oh, they changed the song here. What's this? Hang on a sec. Still recording. The battery's holding up. The storage and the battery are holding up here. I've heard this voice before. He has a kind of a comic. There's a bit of a comic. Is this the same one I'm thinking? There's a guy. I think it might be him. There's a guy that has this high pitch kind of a. I think this is him. I forgot his name. Okay, let's turn it up on this upbeat, fun kind of music here. I'm sure he sounds like a character, right? Fun character. Okay, where are we here? So, an interesting image. Real frogs in imaginary gardens. Our past is kind of like a past. It's imaginary. It's real, but it's past. But we got to be real in our present. To be real to ourselves. but others are... Okay, another quote says that the shrink brings his present, the real frog, and he helps the person know it's the present. The client doesn't have the present. He brings his past. The shrink brings the present. The client brings the past. Real frogs in imaginary gardens. Give thee all hope for a better childhood past. Consent that the trauma took place. And have this update. Don't be this quote-unquote hooligan, right? You got to update. Okay, fine. Hooligan who loves opera, fine. But you want to update yourself, okay, and be a new and have a renewed self like that. The hooligan idea, he means extended adolescence. He means it like that, like you're kind of stuck in an earlier quote-unquote simpler way. In normal development, you have a creative self. Oh, is this copyrighted? Oh, hang on. Hang on. On second thought, I got a feeling that might be copyrighted. I think he's a famous singer, that guy. In that case, it's copyrighted. Oh, I lost him. Okay, if you just noticed a skip, if you notice a skip in the video here, it's because I just had to trim out some of the songs that I played from Radio Garden, a fun website. I love that website, Radio Garden. You know, here, okay, let's do it this way. Submitted for your approval and consideration. I had it once before. Let's do it again. Visit the station, Radio Garden, and have some fun. Just scroll around, look at all the cities. You see a city name, do a search for the city, get familiar with the city. You know, other countries, other languages. And most of these are about unrequited love, commonality, unmet oneness, looking for oneness, can't have it, but looking for it, need it, but can't have it, this conflict like that. So this falling in love idea, and your anger and your grief and a motive, this complication that you're still trying to get mother's oneness in the past. And a lot of these songs are about this constant craving, love, hunger, constant striving, attachment, hunger, attachment, craving for the oneness. No one can do it. They just trigger the wiring of it failing, but you feel the bliss when it's triggered, but it's gonna crash. Okay, Melanie Thornton's music video, Love How You Love Me. The couples meet each other, they drop their bags, hold hands, and float in the air. All these couples are floating up in the air like that, gonna fall down, of course. So this is the idea that you feel the euphoric feeling of the falling in love, the blissful feeling that babies are in a blissful state, blissful oneness to the mother, wired in. Okay, it's kind of suspended, waiting for the right one to trigger. Ah, you're the one. No, they're not. They just triggered the past one. And you're hoping the one in the present is your mother in the past, waiting to get the resumption and the proper development of the connection with the mother because you need the connection for your identity. And you didn't get the connection, so you don't have your identity. So you're the one to give me the connection so I can have my identity. And all these songs are about the chaos around us because it cannot be done, but you gotta search. It cannot be done, gotta search. And all these songs are variations on this theme. Most of these songs are a variation on this theme called transference love, puppy love, infatuation love, and so on. You expected it, it failed, you might get angry. You expected it, you're grateful. I'm glad I met him. You expected it. What did I do wrong? Did I say something wrong? And you're questioning, you're bargaining, you're sad, you're angry, grief process, things like that. No, oh, hang on a second. Okay, let's close up with a song by Mystery. And when the song ends, I'll hit the stop button. Let's play. We now have 4 songs by the band Mystery on our soundtrack. How do you feel is a fun one? Yeah. Okay, let's close up with How Do You Feel? Okay, it's only 3 minutes long. Yeah, it's one of the shortest songs. How do you feel? How do you feel? May these quotes stimulate 90-10 rule. May 1 out of 10 of these quotes stimulate curiosity, leading to empathy and understanding. And I hope you feel well and get well. get better. And I'll see you in the next video. See you in the next video. We're all... How do you feel? So try out the self-help exercise. On the one hand, I feel, but on the other hand, or at the same time, experiment. You can try with the and, or you can try with the but, or you can try a part of me, a part of me. Do it, like do 2 rounds. So I feel such and such, and at the same time I feel such and such. The second time is considered deeper. Like the first time, a little defensive. You calm down, and it's a relief to know your true feeling. You want to get to the second one, which is the relief of your true feeling. On the one hand, I feel a little foggy myself, the transy feeling myself. On the other hand, I feel everything's okay. And I'll see you in the next video. Thanks very much. We'll close up with how do you feel? See you in the next video. Yeah, I sometimes linger like this at the end. Part of my anxiety, I think. Separation anxiety. Because when I close the video, trigger separation. I have a connection with my audience here. I'm gonna close the video here. Is that gonna trigger separation anxiety? I don't want to feel that. So just be aware of it. When you get a past feeling, just accept it, allow it, right? You're in the present. You're in the present. Thank your inner child for feeling it, and you're not feeling it. And connect with yourself. And just connect with yourself. And I'll see you in the next video.
Strange